You could break your back trying to make her happy, buy her gifts, solve her problems, show up for her every time she calls, and she still might walk away without a second thought. That's not just painful, it's confusing, because most men were taught that effort equals love, that being loyal, dependable, and always available will make her stay. But here's the truth. Most men never hear. She doesn't care about what you do for her. She cares about how you make her feel. You can give her the world and still lose her. Why? Because what women really want has little to do with your effort and everything to do with your emotional impact. Welcome to the Stoic Spirit, where we speak to men with truth, strength, and no sugarcoating. Today, we're breaking down the 5 things women truly want from a man. Not what they say on social media, not what the dating gurus promise, but the emotional triggers that spark genuine desire and long-term obsession. This video isn't about blaming women or glorifying manipulation. It's about understanding female psychology, so you stop wasting your energy on things that don't move the needle, because the moment you stop trying to earn her love with favors, gifts, and sacrifice, and start standing in your value as a grounded, self-led man, you become unforgettable. If any of this hits home, drop a comment, tell me your story, and let me know what part speaks to you most. Like this video if you're tired of giving everything and still getting overlooked. Share this with a brother who needs a wake-up call. And subscribe to the Stoic Spirit, because this isn't just a channel. It's a movement for men who are done chasing and ready to lead. 1. Effort doesn't equal desire. Men are taught from a young age. The harder you try, the more you'll be rewarded. Work harder in school, you get better grades. Work harder in the gym, you get stronger. So naturally, many men carry this mindset into relationships. They think, if I give more, she'll love me more. But here's the brutal truth. Attraction doesn't work that way. In fact, the harder you try to earn her affection, the more likely you are to repel her. Because in her world, effort doesn't automatically translate to desire. Desire is emotional, not transactional. It's not about how many favors you do. It's about how you make her feel. A woman doesn't think, he texted me every morning, took me to dinner twice, bought me flowers, so now I like him. That's logic. And logic isn't what drives female desire. She wants to feel a pull toward you, a magnetic curiosity, something she can't explain but can't ignore. And that feeling doesn't come from effort. It comes from presence, confidence, and restraint. Picture this. One guy meets a woman and instantly goes all in. He compliments her constantly, replies within seconds, offers rides, gifts, and showers her with attention. He thinks he's proving himself, but to her, it feels off. Too much, too soon. She starts to question, why is he trying this hard? What does he want from me? Does he even have a life outside of me? Now imagine a different man. He shows interest, but he's not chasing. He has his own rhythm, his own focus. He listens without trying to impress. He connects without trying to convince. That man, he makes her wonder, he makes her feel, and that's where desire is born. The difference isn't in kindness or intention, it's in energy. The first man gives. From lack, he's trying to win her. The second gives from overflow. He's inviting her in. Women can feel the difference. One feels needy, the other feels powerful. Here's the truth. Effort without emotional impact is wasted motion. You're not being judged by how much you do. You're being felt by how you carry yourself. So, stop overgiving. Stop overproving. Stop thinking that trying harder will make her stay. She doesn't want a man who works overtime to be liked. She wants a man who is already enough. Work smarter. Stand taller. And remember, if effort alone created love, every nice guy would be married by now. 2. She craves emotional power, not presence. Here's something most men never figure out. Women don't fall in love with the man who gives the most. They fall for the man who makes them feel the most. It's not about the gifts, the dinners, or the constant check-ins. It's about the emotional state you create when you're around her. Because while men are trained to provide, what women crave is emotional leverage. Most guys think, if I keep showing up, if I stay loyal, if I plan every detail of her birthday, she'll see how much I care. They believe that presence equals power. But to a woman, constant presence without mystery feels flat, predictable, even dull. Here's what's actually happening. She doesn't want all your attention because it's available. She wants it because it's earned, because it means something. Women want to feel like they have access to your emotional world, but not full control over it. Why? Because control kills curiosity, and when curiosity dies, so does attraction. She wants to wonder a little, not because you're playing games, but because you're not handing yourself over like a gift basket. She wants to feel like you're choosing her, not orbiting her. And that's a big difference. Let's make it plain. The more power she feels she has over your emotions, the less emotionally engaged she becomes. If she always knows what you're thinking, where you are, how you'll react, and that you'll never challenge her, she'll start managing you, not desiring you. She'll feel emotionally safe, sure, but she won't feel emotionally alive. And make no mistake, women don't come back for safety. They come back for stimulation, for emotional movement. She wants the thrill of anticipation. She wants to feel that slight tension of not being fully sure she has you. She wants a man who engages her heart, not just serves her needs. That's where most good men go wrong. They think they're doing everything right, but what they're really doing is surrendering all their power, and with it, their ability to create any real spark. You can be kind without being weak. You can be emotionally available without being emotionally dependent. You can make her feel secure without giving her full control. If she's always sure of you, she stops chasing you in her mind. And when a woman stops chasing you mentally, she slowly detaches emotionally. Here's the hard truth. If you're always available, always giving, always accommodating, she will start to view you as something she controls, not something she desires. She wants a connection, not a caretaker. She wants emotional depth, not routine affection. So stop trying to buy what can only be earned through presence, unpredictability, and emotional depth. 3. Nice guys are her safety net, not her choice. Let's talk about the so-called nice guy. The man who's always respectful, polite, emotionally available, and ready to help. He listens, he supports, he waits, he does everything right. And yet, he's rarely the one she chooses. Why? Because women don't fall in love with effort. They don't crave a man who's always available, always agreeable, always eager to please. They crave impact, not comfort. Here's the truth. Nice guys are safe, predictable, And in the female mind, predictable means manageable, and manageable means forgettable. When a woman feels uncertain, unstable, or emotionally lost, she knows exactly who to call: the nice guy. Her safety net, her emotional crutch, the man she keeps close, but never close enough. He never pulls back. He never says no. He never risks tension or conflict because he thinks that's what a good man does. But the result? She doesn't feel desire. She feels control, and control kills attraction. She knows she can count on him, but she also knows she can control him. And once she knows that, he no longer excites her. He becomes the man she vents to about the guy who actually triggers her emotions. And he thinks, if I just stay patient, if I keep being kind, eventually she'll see my worth. But she doesn't, because deep down, she's not drawn to the man who validates everything she says. She's drawn to the one who stirs her, who awakens something in her. Even if it's uncomfortable, even if it's not easy. Nice guys confuse being liked with being desired. They think being agreeable is the key to connection. But in reality, it's tension that creates chemistry, not approval. Being nice is not a bad thing. But leading with niceness, that strips away any tension, any mystery, any polarity. You become easy to read, easy to predict, and easy to replace. Women want contrast. They want a man who is kind, but with boundaries, loving, but with strength, present, but not needy. They want the man who can say no when something doesn't feel right, the man who doesn't bend his standards just to avoid making her uncomfortable. That's the man she respects. That's the man she chooses. Not because he serves her emotions, but because he commands her attention. She doesn't want to date a fan. She wants to feel like she's with a man who isn't chasing her validation, who isn't trying to earn love through obedience, but who brings value through presence and direction. The moment you stop trying to be the good guy and start being the real man, with standards, direction, and backbone, you shift from being her backup to being her focus. 4. Validation makes you weak in her eyes. Most men think being emotionally available and expressive will make a woman feel closer to them. They assume that the more they open up, seek approval, and ask for reassurance, the more she'll value them. But that's not how women are wired. What they feel instead is the weight of responsibility, because when a man needs constant validation, he shifts the emotional burden onto her. She becomes the one in control, the one who now has to regulate his confidence, and that, right there, is when the attraction begins to die. Here's the harsh truth. When a man seeks validation from a woman, he's no longer leading, he's following. He's not offering strength. He's asking for permission to feel strong. That energy, it doesn't pull her in. It repels her. Because the moment she senses that her reaction determines your emotional state, you've already lost the frame. You've handed over your masculine grounding in exchange for approval. And deep down, she doesn't want that power. It exhausts her. She didn't enter the relationship to become your emotional compass. She entered to feel something from you, not to create it for you. A man who constantly checks, are we okay? Do you still love me? Did I say something wrong? Is a man broadcasting one thing, I don't believe in my own value unless you confirm it. And if you don't believe in your value, why should she? Here's the Stoic reality. Masculinity is emotional sovereignty. It's holding your ground when storms come internally and externally. It's knowing who you are, even when no one applauds you, especially when no one applauds you. The more you fish for her praise, her compliments, her attention, the more invisible you become to her desires. Because women aren't attracted to men who plead for reassurance. They're drawn to men who are anchored with or without approval. They want the man who's calm when she's emotional, who's present but not disparity, who listens but doesn't over-explain, the man who can go silent without guilt, who doesn't chase every reaction, who doesn't crumble when she pulls back. That's the man who earns her respect. That's the man who becomes unforgettable, not because he begged to be seen, but because he didn't need to be. You want to know what kills desire faster than anything? Neediness masked as vulnerability. Vulnerability is powerful when it's voluntary, not when it's desperate. But if you hand over your emotional balance to her, you're not being open, you're being unstable. And instability is never attractive. So what's the shift? Stop looking to her for confirmation. Start looking inward for conviction. The less you depend on her response, the more power you reclaim. The less you react to her moods, the more attractive your energy becomes. A Stoic man knows he doesn't need a woman to reflect his worth. His worth is not negotiable. It's earned, owned, and protected from within. And that's the exact energy she's drawn to. Not the man begging to be chosen, but the man who already chose himself. 5. Mystery beats consistency. There's a lie many good men believe, that being consistent, always available, always kind, always predictable is the way to win her over. It sounds noble, responsible, masculine, even, but in the early stages of attraction, consistency doesn't stir emotions. It suffocates them. See, women aren't drawn in by reliability alone. They're pulled by curiosity, by emotional tension. And nothing kills tension faster than knowing exactly what a man will say, do, and feel. Every time. That's not romance. That's routine. It's easy to confuse consistency with stability. Yes, women value stability. Eventually. But not right away. In the beginning, what grips her attention is unpredictability. The not knowing, the wondering, the discovery. Mystery builds momentum. It's the unknown that keeps her up at night, thinking about you. Not the daily good morning texts that arrive like clockwork, not the man who's always free at 7 p.m. every Thursday, but the one who makes her wonder just enough to crave more. Now let's be clear, mystery is not about playing games. It's not pretending to be busy. It's not ghosting her or acting distant just to seem cool. Mystery is about depth. It's about being a man whose world doesn't orbit around her. A man with purpose, with priorities, with a presence that doesn't scream, "I'm here to impress." You're not unavailable because you're manipulative. You're unavailable because you're living. Imagine two men. The first responds instantly, showers her with constant attention, plans every detail of her week. She never has to guess what's coming, and slowly, without even realizing it, she stops caring. The second man, he shows up fully when he's with her, but then disappears into his life again. He's engaged, but not dependent. He's interested, but not needy. That second man, he lingers in her mind because she has questions about him. And questions create feelings. She starts to imagine, to fantasize, to wonder where he is, what he's doing, who he might be with. That's emotional power. When a woman feels like she's discovering you, piece by piece, layer by layer, she becomes invested. She feels like she's part of something rare. Not just another guy offering himself on a silver platter. The truth is, when you're always there, she doesn't have to think about you. But when you give her moments of presence, followed by distance, you create a rhythm that pulls her in. Like a song with the perfect amount of tension between each note. You don't need to vanish. You don't need to play hard to get. You just need to have a life. And when she sees that you have your own path, she'll want to be part of it. Not because she's needed, but because she's drawn. So stop trying to win her over with routines and rituals. Stop proving your reliability at the cost of your magnetism. Consistency might make you dependable, but mystery makes you unforgettable. 6. She wants to be challenged, not worshipped. Here's a truth most men don't want to hear. Worship doesn't make her love you. It makes her bored. You can treat her like royalty. You can agree with everything she says. You can shower her with praise, affection, and attention, and still, she won't crave you. Why? Because worship eliminates tension, and without tension, there's no spark. See, most men think admiration leads to attraction. They believe the more gentle, agreeable, and accommodating they are, the more she'll appreciate them. But here's what really happens. She feels safe. Yes, but she also feels nothing. No challenge, no polarity, no fire. She doesn't have to earn anything. She knows she already has you completely, no matter what she does. And when there's no challenge, there's no excitement. Women don't want to be placed on a pedestal. They want to be pulled into something deeper. They want to feel your strength, your values, your resistance. When you worship her, you put her above you. You send the message, you're better than me. I'm lucky to have you. And she feels it. Even if you never say it out loud, that imbalance kills desire, because no woman wants to dominate the emotional frame. She wants to be met eye to eye, not looked up to like a goddess. Now, let's be clear. This isn't about being rude. It's not about being cold or distant. It's about being real. A real man doesn't fold to avoid discomfort. He speaks his truth. He challenges her when something feels off. He disagrees when necessary, calmly, firmly, confidently. That's what keeps her engaged. That's what earns her respect. You don't build connection by always nodding. Yes, you build it by having a spine, a standard, a direction. The man she craves is not the one who bows. It's the one who leads, who knows what he stands for, and never trades his principles for her approval. Worship may feel noble, but it's not love. It's fear in disguise. Fear of losing her, fear of rocking the boat, fear of being rejected. And here's the paradox. The more you try to avoid rejection by being agreeable, the less she feels attracted, because she's not drawn to safety. She's drawn to strength, to challenge, to a man who makes her rise. So stop worshipping her. Stop tiptoeing around her emotions. Stop trying to earn her love through submission. Instead, start being the man who lives by principle, the one who doesn't flinch when she tests you, the one who pushes her to grow. Just as you grow. Women don't want to be idolized. They want to be inspired. They want to feel something raw, real, and alive. That only happens when you stop being the perfect gentleman and start being the grounded man. The man who respects himself enough to say, I'm not here to worship you. I'm here to meet you. And when she meets a man like that, she doesn't walk away. She leans in. 7. Being needed is not the same as being wanted. One of the most dangerous illusions a man can believe is this: she needs me, so I'm secure. But here's the cold truth. Need is not desire. Support is not seduction. Being useful is not the same as being wanted. You might be the man who's always there for her, the one who helps with her bills, picks her up when she's down, listens to every tear-filled confession, solves her problems, and stays through all the storms. But here's what you're missing. She may depend on you, but that doesn't mean she chooses you. Not with her heart, not with her passion. There are men who confuse being her emotional safety net with being her emotional obsession, but those two are worlds apart. You think, she can't live without me. She always runs to me when she's hurting. But pain isn't love. Comfort isn't connection. You're the man she leans on when she's broken, not the man she dreams of when she's alone. And if you felt that emptiness, that strange silence after all the help you gave, it's because deep down, you knew it. You weren't being loved. You were being used. Here's the brutal reality. A woman can need you, yet crave someone else. She can keep you close for stability, while longing for excitement elsewhere. And the worst part, you let it happen because it feels good to be needed. It strokes your ego. It makes you feel like the hero, but over time, that validation turns into a leash. You stop being a man and start becoming a service. Being needed is addictive, but it's not fulfilling. It's survival-level love, transactional, predictable, lifeless. A man who is truly wanted, she reaches for him, not just when she's broken, but when she's whole. She chooses him not because he's useful, but because he inspires something deeper. You can feel the difference. One makes you feel drained. The other makes you feel powerful. If she only calls when her world is falling apart and vanishes when it's back together, you're not her partner. You're her emotional insurance. And brother, you were not put here to be tolerated. You were meant to be admired, respected, desired. Stop being the dependable man she keeps on standby. Start becoming the man who walks away from anything less than genuine desire. That requires you to stop settling. Stop tying your worth to being useful. Start raising your standards. Build a life where you don't need to be needed. Build a presence that commands respect, not dependence. Because when a woman truly wants you, she doesn't just reach for you when she's weak. She gravitates toward your strength, even when she doesn't have to. She stays because she craves you, not because you solve her problems. And when that happens, you'll feel it. You won't be guessing anymore. You won't wonder where you stand, because she'll show you with her energy, her admiration, her choice. That's the kind of man you were meant to be. Let me leave you with this. Most men spend their entire lives giving, fixing, showing up, thinking that being the most useful man in her life will make them unforgettable. But women don't leave because you weren't enough. They leave because you didn't make them feel something real. Not stability, not comfort, but desire, depth, intensity. Here's the brutal truth. She'll walk away from the man who gave her the world to chase the one who gave her nothing, except an emotional high she couldn't explain. That's the world you're living in. It's not about effort. It's not about trying harder. It's about how you carry yourself, your energy, your boundaries, your willingness to be wanted, not just needed, because you weren't born to be tolerated. You were meant to be remembered. Now I want to hear from you. What part of this hit hardest? What have you lived? What have you learned? Drop your thoughts in the comments. This isn't just a video, it's a brotherhood of men waking up, and your voice matters here. So, if this message struck a chord, like it, share it with another man who needs it. Subscribe so you don't miss the next lesson. And most of all, don't just keep watching this content, live it. Become the man who doesn't beg to be chosen, but becomes impossible to forget.